G'day there guys, Mr. Roz Adventure here, and I have got an exciting video for you today. I am currently heading off towards the Horizons Unlimited Travellers meeting in southeast Queensland. Typically, I didn't get away early enough and here I am stuck in school traffic, and it is raining. So yeah, Horizons Unlimited, they are the hub for worldwide travellers to connect and come together to share travel stories and hints and tips for those who wish to travel around the world via overland, whether it be on two wheels mostly or four wheels. So if you saw my previous video on Horizons Unlimited on the lead up to this event, you'll know what I'm talking about. But the day is here, the long weekend, and it promises to be a great weekend of inspiration and information about everything motorcycle travel. I'm not going to share too much of the journey on the way there, going somewhat the back roads, but I've got to pick up the highway for a little bit. So I will leave you here right about now. I've got all my layers on and I am absolutely sweltering.
I took a great mix of riding roads to get to the event. Some of the roads I'd been on before, but there were some great little back roads that I'd never explored before. The weather cleared, the scenery was great, and it was a brilliant little ride to get over there.
Alright, just entering the little town of Grandchester now. These guys in front of me in the orange van, I think it was Peter and Tanya, they're also going to the HU event. So I met them back at the public toilet back there. They've been travelling overseas in the past on motorcycle, and yeah, Peter was telling me a bit about a bit of an incident he had back in the day. So I don't think he rides anymore, unfortunately, but still here to tell the story. We're in full tap. Go mate, go! Oh man, that's hilarious. Oh, where are they going? Oh, they're going that way. Oh, I was supposed to go that way too. Well, my GPS is rerouting me, but it doesn't, it's not telling me where to go at this point in time, but I'm sure it can't be too difficult. I think that road I was supposed to take back there was just a bit of a shortcut across. Oh, well that worked out. I just stayed on the same road I was on and I've just magically ended up back on the route again. So there's the orange van in front of me again. They turned off down that road, cut across, and I'm not that far behind them. So I've lost complete service here. My directions have gone to crap, but if I just follow that orange van up ahead, hopefully I'll end up in the right spot. Oh, here we are, Kokoda Park. We have arrived. Down here, around to the left. We have arrived, the HU meeting. Alright, to find out where I've got to go to camp. I'm guessing it's probably over there, not sure. Alright, just been given directions to my campsite, which is right up this grassy hill. A bit of a muddy slope. Alright. Right in the middle there should do. Well, it didn't take me long to set up camp. I'm all ready, sorted for the evening, and now it's time to go and check out what's going on down the hill back at the registration area. Someone's actually got to get prepared and get the event set up, so yeah, we're all here to help and make this a successful event. So yeah, we're all pitching in and volunteering our time to make this work. There's only a couple of campers up here at the moment with me, but I'm sure there'll be more a bit later on.
Before long, more and more people started to arrive. Registrations opened up, people signed in, everyone started to mingle, meet each other, old friends were reunited, new faces come together for the first time, and people gathered around all the motorcycles that had turned up, ogling over all the troubles that some of these bikes had made. There were definitely some unique bikes there that had done some amazing troubles, which of course led to some interesting conversations revolving around those motorcycles. Some of the ones with the most stickers generally held the most stories. Well, later in the afternoon now, a few more people had turned up. It's getting busier. Only about an hour or so from the first presentation kicking off. Been helping to set all the AV stuff up, testing all the presentation gear. And, we're looking good. Before long, it was time to head back down to the presentation area to get ready for the first presentation of the event, who was Lala Barlow. Linda absolutely enthralled the captivated audience with her 60 years of motorcycling experience, so many stories from her travels over those 6 decades, and she is still out there collecting more stories now. Linda is also a talented musician who kept us entertained with some musical interludes throughout her presentation. After the evening meal, the last presenter of the day was Ashim, who entertained everyone with his crazy adventures on a sports bike travelling around the world. Then it was back to camp for a nice early night to get prepared for the next day's presentations, because Saturday was going to be a huge day at Horizons Unlimited Queensland. Second day dawned with an absolutely stunning day in Queensland. And to kick off proceedings for the day, Kathleen Perry, still on her world travels, captivated the audience with her amazing tales from the road.
And I've been riding non-stop around the world since then. Those arms loose so you're not fighting with your bike. And then at one stage I had a wind-assisted lay down.
Tim Neale then told us about his adventures in New Zealand, before Lala Barlow entertained us with some crazy adventures from the road, and also a little bit of singing here and there.
The world's still doing COVID backflips. I decided it was time to make sure I was capable of life on the road. And with the money I'd been saving for the trip, I dropped 10 grand on a beautiful Yamaha 650 V-Star, which I called Donna. Yeah, I'm gonna make it happen.
From time to time throughout the event, we did have some free time where we had the opportunity to hang out and mingle at the campground, as well as just wandering around checking out all the awesome bikes on display. After lunch, Houston and Emily from Dream Tripping shared their incredible tales from their travels around Australia.
The day we got there, they closed the parks. You couldn't go anywhere, you couldn't be at the campsite.
We were even walking around the edge, I was a centimetre from flooding the airbox, the Himalayan. I have no idea how I survived.
Local Queensland author Robin shared tales from her new book Motorcycle Musings. Elizabeth shared some stories of riding through Pakistan. Whilst outside, Glenn was sharing some hints and tips for packing your motorcycle and anything really bike and camping related.
A minimum pressure, so if it starts to leak, it'll go tick, 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 little red light, stop. Stop your So you'll find them, you can find them from different places.
Well, we weren't lucky enough to have absolutely perfect weather the whole time at Horizons Unlimited Queensland 2025, but luckily when it did rain in the afternoon, we were fortunate enough to have an absolutely awesome presenter in Heather Ellis on stage, so everyone crowded into the room to hear her amazing presentation of her travels around the world.
And the next minute these two Samburos just turn up. I'm trying to get the levers between the tyre and the rim, and they're standing behind me. Half an hour later I'm at a local hotel drinking cold beer and eating Bulgarian goat meat stew.
Fortunately, the rain did clear just in time for Shane's drumming session. After dinner, the evening wound up with an awesome presentation on Southeast Asia from Bec and Dave.
They were also in a bit of a rush because a big water festival was happening in Siem Reap and all the marketplace had shut down, and they were like, we don't want to deal with your motorbike, we just want to get out of here. But they were really generous and stayed, and yeah, please, love it.
Their great presentation ended yet another brilliant day at Horizons Unlimited Queensland. The following morning dawned beautiful once more, and the day started off after breakfast with the groups being separated. Inside there was a women's forum, and the men were relegated outside to gather around motorbikes talking about toolkits. Talking about some of the things you can take on a journey to make the travels a little bit easier on yourself and on your motorcycle. These talks were really informative and held by seasoned travellers who have definitely been there and done that many times over.
Regular maintenance, it's a belt drive, and if the belt snaps,
and the only reason I changed the piston, well, I want to change the piston was the skirts had worn out.
Ken, give us a demo.
Not happening. Not happening.
After a little bit of time ogling people's tools and their bikes, it was time to head back into the presentation room and hear from some other fascinating presenters telling their incredible tales from travelling around the world.
From Puerto Vallarta we headed up towards, we wanted to go and see the Copper Canyon. So from there we went up to Durango and went through this Route 666. Great road going up into the mountains.
It cost $1,800 US to get it across, and that was just a drive on a pallet, wrap and delivered within 3 days. Bunker Biker is a damn good site to get onto. It's a worldwide site.
I was doing all sorts of wonderful things and having a lot of fun. At the time, I guess, in that age, there is unlimited possibilities.
Bring that into your story. And the memoir is also a number of different layers. There's different layers and different themes going on at the same time. Think about what's going to make the cover of your book. I saw these giraffes in the distance, so I parked my bike. I'm a big one for always having my bike in my photos.
So basically we use a cargo boat. So these boats were just carrying cargo over to the island to the restaurants and so forth. So they were really quite shocked that a woman was riding her own bike, and such a big bike.
This person said what they found really useful was the metho stove when they were in Africa and they couldn't get methylated spirits to burn in it. They could burn African rum. You cannot buy any alcohol in the Middle East, or any Muslim country for that matter. So we couldn't get rum and we couldn't get methylated spirits. So suddenly we had a stoving system that didn't work at all.
And it's not all about motorcycling at the Horizons Unlimited meetups. You need to stay flexible on the bike, you really do.
And so ended the official proceedings of the Horizons Unlimited 2025 Queensland event. All that was left then was to pack up the next morning, say a few teary farewells, and then hit the road home.
And just like that, all of a sudden 3 days is over, and it's time to pack up and go home. A lot of people have packed up and gone already. I'm not going home just yet. Make sure we leave this site nice and tidy. I'm going to go down and have a cuppa and say final goodbyes to everyone. One last lap around the campsite, make sure I haven't dropped anything. I'm not going yet, just parking down the bottom. Got Kathleen Perry there, just ridden around the world. This is her last real stop, last real destination around the world. Safe travels! Bye. Alaskan number plates, but going back to New Zealand. And we've got some guys over here who have travelled extensively through the world. Ken and Carol Duval.
The last of the travellers took their time saying goodbye to everyone before eventually There was no one else left, except for the few organisers who had a little bit of a debrief post-event and started planning next year's straight away.
Well, here I go, last person out. Well, last bike out anyway. There's only one person left, which is Shane, the organiser. That was awesome. We've just done a bit of a debrief of the event. It's just us organisers. Well, call myself an organiser, but you know, yeah, there's cattle in this paddock here. Take care. What a great event. Wow, that was insanely amazing. Meeting absolute legends of the motorcycle travel world. Kokoda Park. See you later. That was awesome. A great venue, and we will be back next year. If you've been on my YouTube channel for years, you will have seen videos of me doing the Kokoda Challenge over 10 years ago now. And that was run by the Kokoda Youth Foundation, who also own this property that we're on, Kokoda Park. So yeah, really good to reconnect with the Kokoda Youth Foundation for this event. Oh, what can I say about the Horizons Unlimited meeting? Wow, such a great positive atmosphere, the whole event. Everyone was really chilled out and easy to get along with. I had a few more pressures than some of the people, just helping out to organise the presentations, you know, as part of the tech crew, the IT crew. And I'm no expert at that stuff, but I've got a little bit of an idea. Yeah, I was just able to help coordinate that a little bit. It was really good to be able to help the event happen and take place. Would it have happened without me? Yep. But it was good to just, you know, be able to help out a little bit. Yeah, there's quite a few people there who have ridden, not just overseas, but ridden around the world entirely. Some for many years, continuously riding around the world. Some people rode around for a few months of a year, come back home for a couple of months in Australia, and went back out again for another 10 months. So I think that's what Peter and Kate Forwood did. They were on the road for many years. Their Harley Davidson, I think it's been to 191 countries or something ridiculous like that. Ken and Carol Duval, their BMW, I'm not sure how many years they spent on the road, how many kilometres they did on the road, but their BMW has over 1 million kilometres, I believe. There are other presenters there, like Heather Ellis, who I'd heard of on Adventure Rider Radio podcast probably 8 or 9 years ago. It was good to meet her in the flesh and finally get a book off her of her travels through Africa. She also has another book of her travels across Asia and back to Australia. Really good to meet some of these people I've heard of for many years but just never met before, and just putting faces to the names and yeah, getting to know them a little bit. As a motorbike instructor myself, I'm used to being that freak of nature to my students who, you know, they're just starting to ride. They've maybe done 100-kilometre rides or something very short distance, and that was enough for them. And they hear of me doing 1,000-kilometre days on the bike and living off the bike for several weeks at a time, and they're blown away. I come to a Horizons Unlimited event and I've done nothing. I've done absolutely nothing compared to these guys. Very cool being around like-minded people. There was also Linda, the first presentation of the event, talking about her 60 years of motorcycling. So she's celebrating her 80th birthday, I think, later this year, and she still gets out and rides a bike every now and then. She had some incredible tales. Insane. So many cool stories from all these people. Not just the presenters, but just the regular people that were there that weren't presenting. Everyone had tales that they could have been up there presenting. Pretty cool. Such an amazing event. And I'm really looking forward to next year. Oh, well, I've got another 2.5 to 3 hours to get home. So yeah, I may film some of the journey home, I may not. Right, well, a couple of hours have gone by since I last chatted to you. I'm back onto my local roads right now, only about 10 minutes from home in the Gold Coast hinterland right now. I hope you found this video inspirational at least a little bit. So if you haven't heard of Horizons Unlimited before, I highly recommend to get yourself along to a Horizons Unlimited Travellers meeting somewhere around the world. They're held in heaps of countries around the world each and every year, and this was the 25th year of them holding those events. I'm fully pumped now. I was actually wishing that I had a longer ride home. I could have kept riding. There were other guys at the meeting that were riding all the way back to Victoria, several days of travel ahead of them, and I was a little bit jealous, sort of, because I just felt like doing a road trip after hearing all these inspirational stories. Anyway, I will wrap it up there. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If this is your first time seeing one of my videos, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share with your friends, family, etc. Whatever you want to do. Cheers, guys. See ya.